Everybody's encouraging me to do internet dating. I know it's not true. I know it's not true, but I'm still hung up that I think internet dating is losers or desperate that's why I said I know it's not true. I know it's not true. They're saying that internet dating is now the number one way that people are meeting people. But I'm thinking, I put up my picture, hi, my name is Gayle. I just can't bring myself to do it. That's why I want to hear from you who have done it and done it successfully and why you think it's a good thing. I want to talk about internet dating when we come back. Our number is 866-OPRA-XM, and then later on, Dr. Laura Berman is joining us. The Book of Love she's written, Every Couple's Guide to Emotional and Sexual Intimacy. She's joining us a little bit later on, and we're talking love songs too. We'll be right back. Internet dating stories that worked. You know, I was with a group of friends recently, and they were saying, you know, Gayle, what you need to do is you need to go. They'd given me, it wasn't Match.com. Maybe it was Harmony.com. It was something that they said is really, really good, and that all sorts of quality people go there. It's not just people sitting around in their underwear. You know, they have a very extensive sheet that you have to fill out. That's the thing. I don't want to fill out a big, long sheet. There's a very extensive screening process, and I said, but do you have to put your picture up and your real name? I don't want to do that. But you can't start out a relationship not being honest. You can't do that either. So I want to hear successful internet dating stories and why you think the internet is a way to go. According to USA Today, it is changing the game in the dating world of people of all ages. That's what they said is the beauty of internet dating, because there is something for everybody on the internet. It's a one category that works for every couple, gays and straights, young and old. Everybody relies on their friends. Friends, by the way, is the most popular way to be set up or meet people. That's the most popular way. The second most popular way, without fail, they said, is internet dating. And there are tons of dating sites and tons of dating categories to choose from on the internet these days. So I'd like to hear some of the positive experiences. Kat, hello and welcome.
Hello, Gayle. I'm a first-time caller.
Yay, first-time caller.
I'm a little nervous. I've always heard all the people calling in, but never thought I'd be one of them.
Yay. Why are you calling about dating, or are you calling about good gifts?
I am calling about dating.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Okay, so mine's a good story. I met my husband on Match.com a decade ago, before they even had commercials for it. In fact, we saw our first commercial for Match.com while we were on our honeymoon on ESPN.
Wow.
So we just couldn't believe it. It was really cool. And we have now been married, let's see, we got married in 2001, just after September.
So, Kat, were you nervous about it? Because I'm telling you, there's a part of me, and I know this isn't true, but there's a part of me that thinks, you know, it's either losers or desperate people or people that just can't meet people. I mean,
yes.
So were you nervous?
I was so nervous. I didn't tell anybody. I was mortified. I want to tell you about the success. We have 4 children now, aged 1, 3, 5, and 7.
Wow.
And are so happily married. I'm the youngest of 6. I think we're the best marriage of anyone in my family.
But you didn't tell anybody you were doing it. Why? Why?
I was embarrassed. I felt like...
And why were you embarrassed, Kat?
There was a stigma associated with it. And back then, my in-laws didn't even have a computer. If I said I met online, they would have thought we met in a chat room. Think about back then, right? So
yes.
And then we knew it was right from the beginning, and we got engaged after knowing each other only 8 months. And if I would have told my siblings or my parents that, oh, and by the way, I met him online, they would have not welcomed him into the home, because they would have thought that only odd people.
Yes.
Online dating.
Yeah. So where did you say you met him?
On Match.com.
No, but so you told them the truth.
Oh, okay. What was this story?
Yes. Since you said you didn't want to tell them Match.com, where did you say that you met him?
No, we lied. I went to Syracuse. He went to Penn State. So I would say to my friends, someone who he went to school with, I worked with, and then he would say the opposite story. But it all came to a head when we were sitting at a table with all my college friends, and it was a wedding, and I was pregnant, and they were like, wait, where'd you guys meet again? And I was like, oh, someone who I went to school with. And they were like, went to school with? Oh, who was it? Who was it? And I just started bawling. I mean, we didn't tell my parents. No one in my bridal party knew. I was so mortified because I was successful and outgoing and decent looking, and people would have thought, why'd you have to do that?
Yes, yes. But I do think that it's changed. I do. In 2010, I do think it's changed. But I'm still holding on to that old. If I did it, I would be like you. I wouldn't tell anybody. I wouldn't tell anybody unless it turned out to be a success. But I don't know how I could put a picture up and I'd be worried that someone would recognize me. I would be worried about it. So let me ask you this. What was it that he said in his application or whatever you call it that made you think, I'm going to go out with him?
Okay, so he was just like one of my brothers. Like, I had dated about 8 people before him through Match, and they were all everything that I thought I wanted to marry.
Yeah.
They were all very different than I. They were all much more adventurous than I. It was everything I thought I wanted. But he just seemed cool and, really into, like, football and had really good girlfriends, which I thought was, very important. And he was kind of my left. I was like, oh, maybe I'll put him in my pool of candidates. And I was dating someone who I met through Match from the FBI, and I was nervous about that, but he couldn't tell me where he was.
Oh.
And I thought, oh.
Yeah, what's he hiding? So what's your husband's name?
It's Dave.
Dave. So why was Dave on Match.com? If he's as cool as you say he is, why was he on Match.com?
He's not as cool as I say he is. I just say that we're happily married. His friends did the same sort of thing. And in fact, his membership had expired, and I had contacted him. But I don't know. I was really embarrassed about doing it. And my sister said, don't tell anyone, because after we got engaged, I figured, I could tell everyone it's a successful story. And she said, not necessarily. Wait until you have your first baby. That makes it a little bit more legit. So right after I had my first baby, my parents were sitting at the dinner table. I was just home from the hospital, and for some reason my dad said, how'd you guys meet again? And he and I looked at each other, we looked over at the bassinet, and we just told them the story. And we were all crying, and they were really into it. And they were like, why did you think we would have judged you? That would have been an amazing story.
Wow. So now, Kat, would you recommend it? I'll bet you would recommend it.
I mean, of course.
Yeah,
I have now 8 of my friends are married from Match.com now.
I know. I keep hearing this. Thank you, Kat. I keep hearing it. I'm just scared to do it, but I keep hearing this. Thank you, Kat. Even Oprah said, you cannot go on internet dating. You just cannot do that. I go, I know, that's what I think too, but so many people are telling me that they've met great people on the internet. She said, so many people.